Okay, so my neighbor's child has disabilities, and she keeps climbing over my fence unattended by her parents. Listen, I know it's not her fault, but her parents need to do something about this, and I've already confronted them so many times, I don't know what to do. So, I'm left with one option. For the past 7 months after moving into my new house with my daughter and dogs, the neighbor's child, who's 15 and 16, has pretty severe Down syndrome, has increasingly been entering my property and home. At first, I just talked to the neighbors, and they were at first really sorry and vowed to monitor her more while she's in their backyard. However, after a few months, they just genuinely do not care anymore and brush it off. I've installed security cameras in the backyard and front yard purely for my own safety, insurance-wise because we do have a pool. She'll climb the fence into my yard. Keep in mind, it's a 6-foot wooden privacy fence with a ladder from their shed and let my dogs out. I fixed her from letting my dogs free, as she says, by using chains and padlocks on the 2 gates. Before this became a common occurrence, she even would let the dogs out of the house and then free them. Numerous times, if my garage door's open, she'll leave their backyard and just walk into my house to free my dogs. I don't know what the purpose is, other than it's something she just has to do for whatever reason. Whenever she climbs into the backyard, sometimes when I'm not home, and she cannot get back out, she begins screaming and crying and just shuts down. Before I started chaining and locking my gates because of her releasing my dogs, her parents would just walk in and get her and leave. Now since I've chained it, they start a huge fit about me having her locked in my backyard, and they have to climb the fence, bring the ladder over, and carry her back over. Somehow this is my fault. Now, I'm not really blaming her because she's mentally, well, she doesn't know better. She has some very severe issues, and she's damn lucky my dogs are super nice, being a purebred German Shepherd and an English Bulldog, and a mix of Shepherd Bulldog. I just honestly worry about her safety in my backyard, climbing fences, and her seemingly not being watched as she needs to be. I have a pool. If she falls in when I'm not home, she could very well drown. That's why I installed security cameras to cover my own butt, if that ever happens. I truly hope it never does, but it seems her parents just put her in the backyard and that's it. I've called a local child and family services, it was the CPS office, several times in the past 2 months to report it because I feel she's at risk with her parents' inattentiveness and their seemingly not caring attitude of her just going into other people's yards, garage, house, etc. I have a full garage of power tools, table saws, etc. that I've now had to resort to flipping the breaker off when I open the doors out of fear she may severely injure herself. I don't know. I feel like I've done everything I can. Talked to the parents numerous times, called child and family services, installed cameras, locked my gates further. I just have no idea what to do now. I've debated calling the police when she enters, but I don't know how this will escalate. What's up guys, Mr. Reddito here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. This is a very serious situation. Imagine how drastic it could get if this baby would just slip into the pool. That would be very unfortunate, and I don't understand the parents' point of view for not watching their child. I hope CPS does get involved, but let me tell you guys, there's an update for this story. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click the description button right now underneath this video, and you can subscribe to all 3 of Mr. Reddito's channels, and you can feel free to start binging. Alright, here's your update. I'm sad. Well, I'm sad. I'm sad about this update for the kid. I took the majority of the given advice and called the police non-emergency number and asked for an officer to come out because I had a question about the issue I'm having and briefly explained it. So, officer shows up, I invite him in and explain the whole situation. He isn't sure what to do about it right now, so we asked for a supervisor to come to his position. Supervisor shows up and I go over the whole shebang. We go upstairs to my computer where I have all the video clips and stuff saved. 9 times. 9 times of her entering the backyard, 4 of her entering the house through the garage. We watched each one, and he gets on his cell phone and goes back to his car. A few minutes later, he comes back with 3 flash drives and asked me to make a copy of the videos, send it over to the drive, and had me fill out a piece of paper stating what I put on the drive and then sign it. I repeated it all 3 times. So, about 45 minutes later, after we've been talking and he's been on and off his cell phone the entire time, 2 CPS workers show up and review the videos again and take complete statements from me, going back to the first time it happened. This took about 2 hours because they wanted to be precise and as accurate as I can remember it, and left out anything I wasn't 100% sure on. So, the officers and CPS workers head next door to talk to the parents. Parents apparently shut the door in their face and said they didn't want to talk because of my statements and the video of her climbing over, getting stuck, and having to be carried back over the time. Well, that gives them probable cause to enter the home anyways. After they were inside their house for about 15 minutes, another cop car shows up, followed by another. Few minutes later, another cop. I'm in my garage, so I don't know exactly what happened inside, but after more officers showed up, the father was put in the back of the car and the daughter was put into the CPS workers' van, and they left. The father was driven away about 10 minutes after that, then about an hour later, the mother is also put in the back of the squad car and driven away. I talked to the initial officer that showed up and asked for a supervisor, and he tells me they found drugs. Yeah, pills that are not in prescription bottles, and that the home was just not being taken care of inside and definitely not a safe environment for a child. They said they found drugs not secured and in areas that child could easily access them. I haven't seen them since the day after the post. I feel bad for the kid being in this horrible situation and me being a neighbor, not even knowing what was happening and not wanting to call the cops. I didn't think it was anything like they found. I just figured it's really tough raising a kid and add on top of that severe mental disabilities. Well, that's even tougher. I should have called them earlier once the CPS reports I was doing over the phone didn't ever do anything. So, I suspected something was going on with that family. A drug issue, some sort of abuse. CPS just needed to be called. There's no reason somebody with mental disabilities is not being watched and allowed to jump the fence numerous times, walk in through the garage numerous times, and potentially drown in a pool. All because the parents don't care to watch their precious child. Let's read a comment. Crap. Things only happen that fast when things are really bad, for CPS to act that quick. I guess the moral of the story is if your neighbors knowingly allow their kids to break the law and be a danger to themselves and others, they're probably slacking off in other ways as well. So guys, what I want to know is, what do you think of these parents? And if you were the neighbor in their original story, how would you go about handling this delicate situation? I think OP handled it swellingly. However, maybe the police should have been involved just a tad bit sooner. It could have been disastrous those 7 to 9 times that baby got over that fence. Alright guys, we're going to look at the next story now. My girlfriend told me she was with a friend. But that friend was with me picking out an engagement ring. How do I confront my girlfriend about this lie? Ugh, this was a doozy. I swear my life feels like a movie right now. Sorry for the weird formatting, I'm on mobile and this is my first time posting. I'm 28 male and planning on proposing to my girlfriend of 3 years. Now, I suck at picking out jewelry. I'm the type of guy that doesn't see a problem with heart-shaped jewelry. Seriously, why is it considered so ugly? So every time I want to buy something for my girl, I usually consult one of our mutual friends. My girl's best friends are all friends with me as well, and we get along super swell. So asking them for helping picking out jewelry is something I'm used to. When it came to picking out a ring, I consulted my girlfriend's best friend, Justine. Justine and I are quite close, and she knows my girlfriend better than anyone, including me. So when my girlfriend went out to visit her sister and baby nephew, I invited Justine over to the house to help pick out a ring. Justine and I looked through a few catalogs, but decided it was a dead end and it would be better to go the professional route at a jewelry store. However, I did not know when my girlfriend would be coming home, so Justine and I thought of a clever text to a gauge of how much time we had. I asked her when she'd be coming home as I was ordering takeout and wanted to know when to tell them to have the food ready by. She responded by saying it would be a few hours, and she met up with Justine to go shopping. Now, obviously this took me by surprise since Justine was standing inside my house. I showed Justine the text and she looked at me, confused. It isn't out of the ordinary for my girlfriend to meet up with people out of the blue like that for shopping, lunch, etc. She was a very spontaneous person and loves making plans on the fly. So ordinarily, I would have believed this text in a heartbeat. However, obviously this had to be a lie. When she came home, she acted completely normal, and I played along, but it's been really hard to act like everything's fine. We got takeout, ate together, and cuddled on the couch after. So far, she's caught on a little that something's upsetting me, but I can't just tell her what. Looking at her kills me. I don't know what to do. My girlfriend and I have zero trust issues, and we tell each other everything, so this is killing me. I want to ask her about it so bad, but if I tell her I knew she was lying, I'd have to explain why, and I really don't want to do that. What do I do? I know she lied to me, but I don't know how to confront her about it. Should I just forget it? This won't stop gnawing at me. Please help. Hey guys, Mr. Reddito here. Man, this situation is an awful one. Just imagine how much thought that OP's thinking. What could his girlfriend possibly been up to? Was it good? Was it bad? Maybe she's planning a surprise for me. Huh. Imagine the thoughts running through his head. Anyways, guys, there's a complete update, so let's jump into it. I decided to confront my girlfriend. I thought about using some of the lies people suggested, but they just would not make sense. To say I ran into Justine somewhere, well, I told my girl I had to stay home and do stuff around the house, and that's why I could not go with her to see my sister-in-law. To say Justine was helping me pick out jewelry, it doesn't make sense for her to come all the way to our house to help me pick out a set of jewelry. Unless it was a serious piece of jewelry, like an engagement ring. If I just wanted to get her a piece of jewelry as a gift, I'd ask her friends for suggestions or ask them to send me pictures of jewelry she might like. It all happens over text. None of the excuses made sense, so I decided to be honest. Well, guys, I basically just said that I knew we'd been thinking about marriage and she probably knew a proposal was coming soon. So I invited Justine over to help me find the perfect ring. And that so happened to be the day that she said she was going to see her, so what's the deal? She immediately started grinning like an idiot and prodding me about proposing and the ring. But then we got back into the topic of where she was and she confessed what she was really up to. No. She wasn't cheating. And no, she was not picking out a ring for me. The amount of times that was commented was crazy. So some people are dog people and some people are cat people. Well, me, I'm a snake person. I grew up with snakes my whole life, but I've never felt I was able to get one because my girlfriend's always been uneasy about living with a snake, which I completely respected. Also, the process of buying and raising a snake is very different than of buying and raising a dog or cat. It's quite complicated. So you can imagine my surprise when my girlfriend showed me a picture of her holding the cutest Kenyan sand boa I've ever seen. Needless to say, my girlfriend was going to surprise me with a snake. We're picking her up next week. I definitely did not expect this, and I feel bad for ruining the marriage surprise, but oh well. Life's good. Sorry if this isn't the ending you guys wanted or wanted something more spicy. It's just a snake.
Thanks for listening.
Alright guys, so I know on my channel, a lot of times the stories don't necessarily end with such a happy ending, but thankfully we can wrap this video up knowing their relationship is fully intact, nobody cheated on anyone, the secrecy was about a pet snake. So guys, let me know what you think about this story, here's a comment. Seriously, I love that in this relationship filled with honesty and communication, the only secrets they kept from each other are surprises to make the other person happy. And even then, they get found out super quickly because they're both in touch with each other's lives and friends. Well done, you two. You get the award for the video. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. I'm here every single day. You can find my other channels in the description below. I post daily on those as well. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch you in the next one.